What the heck is going on over at Boeing, guys? Mike here, back at Dizzle in Motion. Done a quick video on what's going on with the Boeing Starliner capsule. My 2 cents, and to bring you up to date on everything that's going on. Stick around. All right, so unless you lived under a rock, you've probably seen a lot of things going on the internet right now about Boeing and all the problems they've had with their aircraft, the 737 MAX, wings falling off, doors popping off, all kinds of stuff. So the last thing we want to hear is something's going on with a Boeing spacecraft, right? Because at this point, it's becoming a punchline. We're starting to roll our eyes. Who knows what's going on, right? So basically, back in June, the Boeing Starliner launched, went up to the space station. They're supposed to hang out a little bit and then return. Well, they found out there's a problem with the thrusters. I believe there's 28 thrusters, and at this point, only one of them's malfunctioning, but you know, in space, you can't have any mistakes, you can't have problems, so they've been studying this for the last couple of months. They think they have it figured out. It had something to do with the manual flying, so when the pilot would take over, something in the helium and the thruster, I don't know, I'm not a freaking engineer, it would overheat, cause some problems, and it was shut down as a safety precaution. So nothing was, emergent or wrong, like you're gonna die or anything like that going on. It was precautionary from what I understand from everything that I've studied. So that being said, they still don't necessarily want to put them in there. Up until a few weeks ago, Boeing was even saying, hey, we're pretty confident, we're just gonna bring these guys home. And that was literally, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago they were still saying that. That's clearly changed now because they've had to tap SpaceX to go rescue them. Now, it's not exactly a rescue mission. They're not in danger, per se. In fact, when they do these things, they had planned on, hey, if they get stuck there, do we have the resources in place to do this? And they do. They have the food, they have the supplies. They went so far with this to pre-plan something going wrong or them getting stuck there that the 2 astronauts from the Boeing crew have now integrated into the space station crew. And when the SpaceX Dragon crew comes up there, they were originally supposed to bring 4 astronauts. They're only bringing 2 now. So basically, they're just gonna piggyback onto these other crews. The astronauts that were in the Starliner are fully certified, qualified astronauts. They can do spacewalks, they can do all the cool stuff. So kudos to NASA, Boeing, and everybody involved for making sure that they always have contingency plans. When you're testing something new, you never quite know how it's gonna go, right? Now, for those of you that don't know, I spent the better part of my professional career trying to catch things that were falling out of the sky for the government. And as luck would have it, a couple of years ago, I actually got briefed and went over a retrieval of the Boeing Starliner. Now, that's pretty common where I was working out in Southern California. They would come out. I've worked with SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, pretty much all the names. And they usually come through, they give you a briefing. They're like, you idiots, we need you to go catch this stuff. I'm just kidding, I'm putting that in there. But sometimes we are idiots, just the way it is. We ask dumb questions because we're not engineers. So I do remember doing the Starliner training. I'll throw some photos up here. Some of the training we were doing, recovery with the capsules and whatnot. And here's what the capsule looks like and whatnot. But I remember them coming in and they gave us a briefing basically saying, hey, here's the Starliner, here's all your panels, here's your, your hazards. Big thing when you're doing crash retrieval for anything is knowing the fuel loads, your hazards, what can blow up, what can catch on fire, what's gonna kill us or the people inside of it, right? Common sense. So we usually go over that kind of stuff, and it was interesting to say the least because it was pretty clear to me that they didn't fully have it all fleshed out. In fact, they even told us that, hey, you guys aren't actually an official landing site. I mean, you are, but if this thing comes back here, that means it's really bad for us because evidently if they land in certain areas in the deserts that are protected, there's desert tortoises and the EPA and a bunch of paperwork and other things that go on with landing in places that you're not supposed to land, and it costs them like $10 billion or whatever. I just made that number up. But basically it's not good. So it was just funny. It's like, yeah, if we have the option and there's no one in it, we'll crash it in the water, or we'll do this or whatever. So just some interesting insights that I have for that. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was recently a spooky sonar-like sound coming from the capsule. And as luck would have it, I waited to make this video till today. I had my own thoughts on what it could be, not as an engineer or anything like that. I was thinking it might be some kind of acoustic feedback because they were getting this sonar ping. Here, I'll actually play it for you real quick.
Did not hear anything. All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go.
So they were getting this sonar ping, and then it was interesting because they couldn't figure out how it was feeding back through the speakers. My thought was a couple of things. One, this thing was supposed to come back like immediately, and it's been almost 3 months. So maybe it's some kind of recovery beacon, an RF recovery beacon that was feeding back through the audio system. That was my first thought. But evidently NASA announced this morning that it was more about they had a system, there's a medium in the system between the transmission equipment, audio receiving from ground control, and something on the craft, and somewhere in between that was causing that feedback sound. So it wasn't aliens yet, but it seems like at least for now they've solved that issue. All right, so what's the game plan for Boeing? It seems like they're gonna bring the Starliner back. They have a window on September 6th. I'm actually filming this video September 3rd. So in 3 days, they're supposed to bring the capsule back with nobody on it, just to make sure in case anything goes wrong. They are not anticipating anything going wrong. They're looking for a normal landing down in New Mexico, and it's basically gonna autopilot itself back. So I don't think anything's gonna go wrong with that. No one else does either, but it is interesting. The crew will remain up there until the next SpaceX Dragon crew goes up there, which is not slated until 2025. So happy holidays to all of you up at the space station, because you're gonna enjoy your extended stay. Hope Santa makes his way down your chimney up there. What do you guys think about all of this, just in general? Put down in the comments. I already know it's gonna be a roast fest because of the Boeing aviation. I will tell you this, Boeing has a whole space and other world of projects they do for our government and the military. So I don't think overall it's just they're gonna fold up and go away. SpaceX obviously is much better at the space race, but I think Boeing is longer and more entrenched with government contracts and R&D and stuff like that. So I personally don't think Boeing's going anywhere, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video. Catch you on the next one.